Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Look, Jazz or Jazzmine and Mali on the Lapeef Network panel had their argument, and I didn't even finish hearing all of it out because it was very true that they weren't going to let each other finish. But the argument was not just Jazz versus Mali. It was really about the dichotomy between the rules and their enforcement. See, what Andrew Schulz said was out of pocket. It wasn't a lie, it was an exaggeration of a true phenomenon. That was where the dishonesty was. He didn't make up the phenomena altogether, he exaggerated it for comic purposes. You expect a comedian to do this. I don't think that he went in on black women because of solidarity with black men. I think he went in on them because he's a comic and he could. The ammunition to do this and make it funny came from the targets of his ridicule. You see, you don't decide what someone's going to say about you. You decide how many people will laugh along when they say it. Or let me put it like this, even if you don't decide what people will say, you decide what will be your fault when they say it. That's the best way I could describe that. The sisterhood made a choice, made several choices actually. They want this reputation that they'll hit a man, that they'll punch a man, they'll slap a man, they want that reputation. They don't want a reputation for not being violent. It's to the point that even when they want to use guys that look like Darius Jackson for his phenotype, they still will hit him. I know because I'm one of those brothers. I'm even less recognizable than Darius Jackson is. Um, I had to learn to avoid being hit. The same flirting that was just considered flirting when other brothers did it back in the 90s would have gotten me slapped. That was one of the early lessons I learned. Same arguments would have gotten me slapped. Um, it's going to be this way probably until I pass away because I don't expect sisters to get better now. They don't have opportunities to anymore. I don't live in America, let alone Black America, but um, I know how it goes. I know to fuck the shuck up when a bunch of sisters are around talking. Um, I know to do that. Don't say nothing. So in any case, um, let me also tell y'all that what you're seeing is, while like I said, it's against the rules for Mr. Schultz. I said sarcastically to say what he said, although he doesn't just single out sisters. What you're looking at is whose business is it to enforce? It's not black men's business anymore. There's a part of me that wanted to say something, but I realized that it's better for me to not get in. It's better for a lot of brothers in general to just not say anything one way or another about it. It's not our business. There are going to be sisters that are going to be upset to hear anybody say this, whether it's me or anybody else, but it's really not our business. And what I've come to realize is that as a Muslim, there will come a day in the West, and I don't know if it'll happen in the Muslim world too, but there will come a day in the West when if somebody starts to go after Muslim women, it's not going to be the job of most Muslim men to come to their defense, even though religiously speaking it would be. That will be broken because there will be nothing but a liability for it. It will be understood that the men better do it, so the women are going to abuse it. It's already happening. If you're a guy and you go out and you're trying to have fun and unwind and decompress from the stress of life, once you try to do that and there are enough women around, you're going to be looked to do chivalrous stuff in exchange for nothing. Nothing at all. And I'm not talking about just in exchange for sex, but I mean, just sex being exchanged for it. I'm not even discussing just that because that's off the table. But it's off the table for the wrong reason. They're not taking it off the table because you're not married to them. If that were the case, they wouldn't be running to you to make all the sacrifices a husband would make. No, it's off the table because of their ego, because they're conceited, and then they want to come running to you. It's still your job to take care of me and protect me and get me off these streets and fight off these threats. And that's no, that's the problem there. Eventually, that's going to happen even in our faith community. And there probably will come a day when the men who believe in protecting Muslim women, period, are going to stop believing in it when they realize that that's being abused. And they'll say, well, in principle, it's true, but it doesn't mean you just let them turn around and abuse that and throw your life away. So, no, son, you need to go ahead and stay away from those areas where they're going to congregate because they'll just get you in trouble. With that being said, gentlemen, what you're seeing is the rule being violated at a time when there's nobody with the jurisdiction or the motive to enforce it. If somebody gets robbed in front of you and you're not a police officer, yeah, what happened was a crime. The robbery was still a crime, but you're not the one with the authority necessarily to stop it with deadly force. Therefore, you can't necessarily, maybe you can, maybe you cannot. It could go either way. But in many cases, you will not be. You're just walking around and you're not armed and you happen upon a robbery, you may be lucky if you don't get robbed. That's the end of it. It's wrong, but are you the one with the authority and the equipment and the jurisdiction to put a stop to it? Well, the answer is no. Then that means that they can turn around and the criminals can turn around and go unchecked. And so while Andrew Schulz may have said the right thing for the wrong reason, um, there's nobody to protect black women right now except black women themselves. They've actually beaten us back for getting too close when we've tried. And it's not been all of them that did it, but it's been that enough of them have done it and gotten away with it and have been socially rewarded for doing this, that the notion is that they'll do it across the board because even those who would not won't say a damn thing against those who would. They know they better not. There you go. Who's to enforce the rules? Nobody but black women. That's really what the argument was about. It's not, they thought they were arguing about whether he was okay for saying it. No, that's really not the argument. The argument is uh, what is the penalty and who's supposed to apply it? Who can apply it? How? Black men have been told, step off, stay out of it, all of that, until, of course, there's a threat of somebody to fight, stay out of it, like attack dogs. Oh no, you don't come in the house and eat with us. You stay out in the yard, you eat dog food. But if someone comes over uninvited, you bite their leg off. That's what they're about. They're making it plain that that's what they're about. They're not playing games with you. They're not joking um, about this stuff. They're dead serious. You need to be out there getting your butt chewed up and chewing someone. You need to be out there getting wounded every time. And yet there's no benefit like an actual family member for you. And black men said, we're not the attack dogs anymore. And now, because we weren't supposed to actually, and we're not allowed to actually be the men of the house dealing with sisters, even the ones that wouldn't hit us, they got this. They strong, independent, don't need no man. They got this. Even the ones that would not hit a man and about whom this is not true, well, they're friends with them and they won't say nothing about them. So they got this too. And everybody's figuring this out. But there is one thing that was plain and blatant in this. I don't think it's necessarily okay that Andrew Schulz felt comfortable saying this sitting across from two black men, but the fact that he did is actually because many people in the world, even in other communities, are beginning to see that we're not the problem. So they don't see us as the instigator, the aggressor, the one that starts it off. Many of them are beginning to think, you know what? When you're talking with black men, this is what happens. You're talking with black men. So as long as there's no sister around to give the order, sick 'em, attack, as long as there's no sister around to get that order, they're actually very reasonable. That's what a lot of people are beginning to think now. And I'll tell you straight. There was one time when one man, a Hausa brother here, a Saudi man, said, I'll give the non-black Arabs credit for one thing over us. They do have better hospitality. I mean, we're nice, but they do have better hospitality than we do. And I straight said to him, bro, the reason why they have it is because their women don't curse them for having hospitality and for being generous. Our women look at us like, why don't you have more? Well, because I shared it with these guys over here. Oh, so you just give everything away, huh? Well, never mind then. That's how women act. And he was like, yeah, you got a point. Our wives don't support that same level of generosity. I didn't know this for sure when I said it to him. I took a wild guess and he confirmed it. Meanwhile, these same sisters, even over here, you get him a white, what they call a white Arab guy as a husband, giving the same stuff away. They'd be like, oh, great, I get one of those guys. It's effing insane. So anyway, um, with that being said, y'all, I hope that what I said explains it. Thank you for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. Listen, thank you for flying with us here again on Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. But I invite you to go to buymeacoffee.com/jet.black so that you can join either the business class or preferably the first class section of Jet Black Air. And you can see more stuff now than you could before. And there's more to come, inshallah. The confessions alone now, at the time I'm recording this, are at 7. 7 of them. So, and like I said, more are coming. So it's worth it for you to go in and subscribe monthly. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender justice forever.